Hello and welcome to Nest Egg Guru. In this clip, we're going to demonstrate how Nest Egg Guru enables users to illustrate the impact that investment fees and expenses may have on their retirement savings portfolios. Before we begin, there are two reasons why we're compelled to produce this video. The first reason is to raise awareness that a surprising number of retirement planning applications completely overlook this important input in their analysis, and that such an oversight may result in overly optimistic results reporting. The second reason is to help consumers understand the components of this input. Simply put, investment expenses consist of the total internal expenses of the investments in the portfolio plus any and all external fees that the user pays for advice. For instance, if an investor has a portfolio of ETFs or mutual funds, each of these investments will have some level of internal investment expenses. If the user has enlisted a financial advisor to assist in the investment selection and management process, the fees for such services should be incorporated as well. Now let's test the impact expenses you may have encountered using Nest Egg Guru's retirement savings calculator. In this example, we will assume that you are just starting out and saving for an expected retirement date in 35 years. You have no retirement savings, but you have just signed up to contribute 5% of your $75,000 salary to your 401k plan in order to receive your employer's 5% match. Let's also assume that you expect your wages and your contributions to increase by 3% each year. We will assume that you chose a broad portfolio allocation consisting of 70% stocks, 30% bonds, and 0% cash. For the stock portion, we will assume the following default equity allocation, but you could of course change this accordingly to match your situation. For the bond portion of the allocation, to account for the low interest rate environment, Nest Egg Guru asks users to enter the rate of return they reasonably expect to earn on a stable value fund or an intermediate bond fund. In this example, let's enter 3%. As noted, we have no allocation to cash in on our portfolio, so we will skip this input. Now, to get to the thrust of this analysis, let's assume that the total internal expenses of your 401k account add up to 1.5% of the total value of your retirement portfolio each year. As for our final input, Nest Egg Guru enables users to test how their savings may grow by maintaining a constant asset allocation over time, or by choosing a model that shifts from stocks to bonds over time as the target retirement date approaches. In this example, we will assume that you maintain the 70-30 allocation from now until retirement. Using the data we entered, Nest Egg Guru will now run 5,000 simulations based upon random sampling of historical market return data. Let's take a look at the results. In our example, between now and retirement, your total contributions to the plan, including the employer match, would be a little over $453,000. The mean return from the 5,000 simulations is approximately $1,284,000. The full range of simulations are presented in the following table. Okay, now let's run the simulation again. Instead of using 1.5% as our investment expenses, let's see how the results might change if we are able to lower the investment expenses to 0.75%. Since we did not change the contribution amount, the $453,000 total contribution figure has not changed. However, the mean return is now nearly $250,000 higher at just about $1.5 million. Here are the full simulation results from both examples placed side by side. As you can see, investment expenses can have a significant impact on long-term results, and incorporating investment expenses is an important factor in evaluating one's retirement planning preparedness. As a final point, a primary purpose of a good retirement planning calculator is to allow the user to stress test his or her strategy under adverse conditions. As such, Nest Egg Guru encourages users to pay the greatest heed to the bottom half of the simulation results. In other words, hope for the best, but plan for the worst. We hope you found this tutorial helpful. You may use Nest Egg Guru for yourself at nestegguru.com.